turns it down at the end of every podcast.
I turn them all down, but I messed up because I got to swap around your plugs here because now you're on a different microphone. Welcome to the Transmit Podcast, where you're hearing some behind-the-scenes stuff. I'm your host, Spike.
I'm Victor.
And today, we have all sorts of stuff to talk about. It's going to be awesome, right?
Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, wait.
You're a little low.
I am a little bit low.
Try it again.
A little better. You gotta check the gain and
Well, that can be taken care of later. I'm just making sure. Like, I got good
What about
levels.
me?
the baritone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Mine's a
your
little-
levels.
mine's low.
Your levels are good. If you look at speak while looking into that.
Hello.
See, your levels are good.
This is the microphone
Where
podcast.
are your levels? You say hello, then I'll say hello.
Hello.
That's you.
That's me.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello,
it's just your
hello,
microphone.
Hello.
Hello.
Here we go.
We should have
Gundam
tested.
wing.
We should have tested this before we.
Yeah, you know what? Listen, we are flying by the seat of our pants here.
As always.
Oh yeah. All right. So listen. Okay, here, how about this? Turn that down. Well, listen. Like I said, I can fix that in post. I have this on multi-track recording. So like, look, you could talk kind of softly or be low, but then I'll just crank it up and then. Let me tell you, the Rodecaster Pro is truly the Cadillac of podcasting equipment. All right.
That's why I prefer this one.
Oh yeah. Listen. Victor, you should pitch in a little bit. Maybe get yourself another Rode pod mic.
Road.
Yeah,
but
these
those the one.
these microphones.
They're bitching, let me tell you. Okay, so I'm thinking we talk first about some BS. We do the lounge.
Japan has a Gundam.
Wow, listen, Victor, coming out of the gate strong.
Yes, they do.
They have a moving Gundam, and like you were saying, like you're like this is what happens when you don't have like a technically military budget.
Yeah.
They're just bored.
They have a
So
self-defense force.
They have a self-defense force. I guess they don't have an actual military or any branches of a military.
I mean, they have like some naval
Right.
forces, they have some army forces, and some tanks and stuff. But it's not like they don't have to like go out and deal with stuff.
Yeah, so I guess the rest of their budget is like a Gundam.
Yeah, it's Gundam stuff. Yeah.
So it does have its head now.
Oh yeah, I saw them there. Yeah, the priests were blessing it, which we were talking about. Like that's,
You can kind of see it here.
oh, it's mounted.
Is there like a cockpit in there where people can sit inside
Well,
of the head? That'd
okay,
be dope.
whoa, dude, in the Gundams, you don't sit in the head. That's insane. Come on.
The chest, probably.
Yeah, it's the chest. Come on, Vic.
How do you see out? Is there a window in the chest?
There are eyes in
Cameras?
the head and they go through cameras.
Cameras?
Do you think there's?
It's like a Tesla.
Yeah. How do you think submarines work? They look at screens.
Oh, that's not very reliable.
I mean, in the Gundam universe, it totally is. And then if they lose the head, there are other sensors, and also like the chest will crack, and they'll look out of that. It'll be awesome.
And in
Well, I was
real
thinking-
life, the submarines work just fine.
Yeah.
I was thinking Power Rangers.
Yeah, I guess
'Cause
they
they
did
all sit inside the head.
and that's a bad.
And there's like a
place.
window.
That's a bad place for a cockpit. It's like in the part that's going to get whipped around the most.
Yeah, you want to be closer to the center of gravity.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think if I was piloting a Gundam,
Oh,
I
yeah.
wouldn't even want to be inside of it. That thing is 60 what stories?
Feet.
60 feet?
60 feet, yeah, and it depends
60
on.
stories is kind of big.
It depends
60
on
feet.
which Gundam you're in, which universe you're in, stuff like that.
I mean, in Pacific Rim, where are they at in the Jaegers?
They're in like the chest, yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
I guess so.
Okay,
I always imagine them being in the head because like the bridge of the Enterprise is on the very top.
yeah, that's
right?
a poor. That's a poor place for it. That is a very poor place for that.
And then they have their war bridge, which is
with the battle bridge, yeah, for like the non-saucer section. We also watched the first episode of Lower Decks here. We're gonna talk about that later. So yeah, the problem like I like is like they mentioned this in like the Halo novel series where they say, oh yeah, the bridge in the alien ships and in the human ships are in the middle of the ship.
yeah.
It's like not like on the bridge behind a big window.
Well, I thought that's where they were going to put the cockpit for the Gundam guy.
Well-
But yeah, imagine when that thing starts walking around because
Just literally around
they're
town.
not going to just build a thing that moves its arms and legs and be like, okay, we're done.
Yeah, we should leave it parked here.
They're gonna want that thing to walk around.
Yeah, turn on the alarm. Whoop whoop.
Imagine like being in a 60 foot radius of that thing. Like, it like it's probably going to fall over at some point.
Well, I mean, if humans fall over. Like, come on. Obviously, it's going to fall
So
over.
yeah,
at
it's
some
going to
point.
be a 60-foot
That's the danger zone.
robot falling over.
I
And I
imagine,
definitely don't want to be on the head in that.
no, you do not. That's like literally the worst place at that point. Well, imagine like the guy they have starts to pilot. It's like, I've been dreaming of this my whole day, and then they get like an emergency call. A monster is coming out of the sea. Like, wait, what? Like, this is seeming a little too generic. It's not. There's literally, look, it's a giant lizard monster.
You're the only guy that could stop him.
Oh God, the self-defense force. They're on the other side of the country. We can't help. It's like, what about the Marines and the naval base? They're all out drinking. They said. So,
I read this YouTube comment where
Yeah.
someone said that they became a computer science major just so that one of these days when they build giant Gundams and it falls over next to his house, he can rewire it and then
God.
start
Oh my God.
riding it around. And he's like, I've kept up my end of the bargain. And I'm glad that Japan is keeping up their end.
I see. Yeah, I can refine your technology. I just need you to put the funds into this giant what every other country in the world would consider a waste of money.
I know. Well, there might be like, it seems like that now, but maybe
Yeah.
one day like a giant robot, walking robot will be
Or a
like,
giant monster will come out of the sea. Yeah, there will be a use for it. And that's the thing, like, you don't know where science is going. Like, we didn't discover the microwave by thinking, hey, we can use microwave radiation to cook food.
yeah, who knows? Like, it might be able to like, lift stuff, really
Right.
heavy stuff,
Or punch tanks. I like that one.
punch tanks,
Oh man.
Punch or step on. You're right, step on them. That's a good better
catch
idea.
helicopters. and
Yeah,
stuff.
just pull them down. You don't have to shoot them down anymore. You just reach up and, there you go. It's like, got him. What do you want me to do with him? Yeah, I just sent him over there. Okay. Oh, man. It's like, oh, there's a bomb in the building. Just pick it up and throw it with a giant robot. Okay. Oh, wow, it's 3 miles away. So, okay.
Man.
Let's. Oh, you wanted me to mention my super sympathetic car accident?
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, so I said stupidly yes to some extra deliveries at work, and I said, okay, listen, you have to be done by the time I get back to the store because I have training at 7, and I actually get it done. I go up to Valley Center, visit all the nice like country people up there, and on the way back down, I'm sitting at this stoplight, and the car in front of me doesn't go. I let off the brakes, and I'm realizing, oh, he's not going, so I reapply. I get one honk off, and then I get rear-ended by this little Hyundai Sonata. And I make a very undignified noise. I think it's more like a ugh. I was not ready for it. I guess I need to practice more manly noises for when stuff hits me. Like, Urgh. Is that better?
No.
Huh.
No.
Hiya. No, okay.
No.
Okay, I'll practice some stuff in the mirror. We'll circle back. Anyway, so I sigh heavily because I realize there's going to be like a couple of hours of like clerical shit I got to do. And we pull off into this mobile estates, and the woman comes out and says, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry." And I was in my work truck, and I just resigned myself to missing training. So I was like, it's okay, don't worry about it. Let's exchange information. It's like, hey, my car's smoky from my airbag deployment. I'm gonna get my baby out. I'm like, okay, no, okay. I was like, she has to take care of her kid. And she brings the baby out, and I'm like, why is her iPhone headphones like so thick and wrapped around the oh, those are medical implements. And I'm sitting there, and she looks at me and says, oh, yeah, my baby has a heart condition. I'm trying to take care of it. And I was like, well, there's no way I'm going to be sitting there now and be like, listen, bitch, you know, watch where you're going. It's like, yeah, I'm sorry. Here, let me press the button that keeps my baby's heart going. Yeah, you do that, bitch.
Jesus.
Listen, maybe if you weren't so busy handling that drain on your life. It's like, no, there's no way that shit's going. So I'm like, no. I'm like endlessly like, no, it's fine. I don't care. Look, the truck's not damaged. It's not my car. It's cool. She starts tearing up a little bit, and I'm like, no, it's fine. It's been a really tough day. I'm like, I can't. So I've gone. Now I feel guilty that my truck was in the way of her car.
Yeah. You
Your
should.
truck should not have been there.
I should have, I don't know, like rammed that truck, just pushed the little like pickup truck out of the way and just flipped him off. It's like, there's a woman who will have hit me if I don't do this, sir.
Oh.
I'm sitting there like, listen, I said yes because, like, I'll get a couple extra hours of work, and I got like 6. It turns extra hours of work, out of that because you got to call up. Apparently, they were having troubles with the storm. The people we have there. There's this fleet service called Wheels. So she informed me that Iowa was having like tornadoes and hurricanes and shit, and that's why it took me like 30 minutes to get through hold. And then I informed her that there were gunshots around the White House, and we just exchanged news.
Oh, there's gunshots around the White House?
Yeah, someone got
Yeah, someone was stupid.
and the Secret Service shot him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Why were they shooting?
Because the dude had a gun?
Well, no,
No,
the
but-
first guy shot. I think there was
no.
some altercation. It wasn't even at the White. It wasn't shooting at the White House even. They were just like
In the vicinity.
he was in the vicinity, and the Secret Service was like, "Nope, you don't do that around here." Listen, if you want to get shot really fast, yeah, pull a gun around the Secret Service. The pro tip:
Yeah.
they are phenomenal at their jobs. Okay. I'm noticing more people out and about, like doing things like in parks, because I have to train now in a park. It's really funny because we do sparring now, just like on a baseball diamond out in the flattest grass we can find, and we do get some weird looks. So it's weird seeing us with boxing gloves. We can't kick because like at that point it's a little too much like Fight Club. We'll get the cops called on us. But like we got like karate people over there, like way more people than I've ever seen at Tecolote Canyon Park are like suddenly just like, I'm going for a walk.
Yeah.
And we even see like up there are people playing D&D up on the benches. Like that's the one thing you can be in quarantine and do, right?
I guess. Shouldn't you be doing it in the safety of your own home?
Right? It's like they're like, no, listen, now the script has flipped. Since we all have to be inside, we're D&Ding outside. That's the only way we can be nerds.
Well, maybe they don't live with each other, these D&D people, and they just want to
Oh, they're all wearing masks, probably. And
play D&D outside.
that's true. This could be the how they handle it, I guess. I don't know.
The increase in volume of people exercising is actually something that Victor and I have noticed recently. We go for walks and we do stuff, and there's more people outside than we've ever seen. I mean,
Wait.
like we were walking at Choyas Lake for a while, and there was always people. There's so many people there,
Yeah.
and just down around the street.
Yeah, and people walking up and down the street.
So yeah, before you could just say like, I want to go out, and you'd hop in your car and they'd be at the mall. You would be out. Now it's like, well, I have nowhere to go. I guess I'm just gonna start walking in a direction. I guess.
And it might be also a little bit of paranoia
Oh, yeah.
from people because they want to be healthier. They're finding, the Rona, it kills unhealthy people.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, that's what I was my whole life. I'm
That's-
going to be that 1%, 1.5% that dies. That's not going to be me. I'm going to get into shape. Fuck that.
Yeah. Well, apparently doesn't vitamin D help?
Yeah, I think vitamin D helps.
There you go.
Vitamin D helps you process the vitamin C, doesn't it?
Okay. Oh, there you go.
Something like that.
Yeah, and then the walking and stuff.
Or the calcium.
So I now need to
Oh.
find a man to have sex with, okay, and get my vitamin D. Okay. No. Okay.
You're lucky I don't have a shoe around here to throw at your face.
Let me see here. I got one more little note here. Since I went to Starbucks for the first time in a while.
What?
Normally, it was at the Vons I work at. So I went to there, and I can't hand them my hydro flask anymore. It's just been sitting idle in my room. But now I got this cute barista sitting there, like saying, "What would you like?" It's like, "I'd like a coffee," and then I have to like sit there and realize, like, oh, I have to tell her the wussy way I take my coffee now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually just told her, "Yeah, give me like 3 sugars and some cream," and I saw her like take like a tablespoon's worth of cream and just drip it in there. I was like, great, that's how much I wanted. It was just like a literal splash.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone spit just not even a full mouthful of thing. Just it's like, yay, this is gonna taste great.
You gotta just start ordering the fucking
I gotta do it.
foo-foo drinks.
I gotta do it. No, I gotta do it the way that the guy from Pulp Fiction does it. Just utter confidence, like lots of cream, lots of sugar.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, hear me out.
Okay.
You could ask for flavored pumps of syrup, because then you get your sugar, and you could say, I want 3 pumps of classic, which is basically just regular sugar syrup.
I'll give that a shot.
You could ask for vanilla, hazelnut. They have a bunch.
Well, that does track.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go for pumps next time because I'm getting tired of the cans of energy stuff. It also has no effect on me anymore.
Great.
It's like ask.
You should get cold brew. Get like their nitro cold brew. That'll just fucking jack you up.
Nice. I was thinking, man, if that stops working, I'll just switch over to meth.
Just as long as you don't do that here on this property.
Oh, and then do you not want the smoking, or can I snort it?
I'd prefer if you just did it in your car.
Okay, listen. Obviously, like smoking regular stuff. You step outside. You know what? That's right.
Even if you just make sure any of that transpires technically off of these physical premises.
Hey, Victor, you want to start doing meth with me?
Sure.
I like that. You know, I had to twist his arm for that. Don't worry. Well, I'll stop him before he loses too many teeth. Oh, man. See,
all he would have to do is, like, walk past someone with it in their pocket, and he would light off like a rocket up into the sky.
Oh, my God. Okay, so let's see. We talked about that. Okay, you know what? Those are my little bits I want to talk about. Now we have a whole bunch of, like, little, like, micro reviews I'd say we have to do.
Mm-hmm.
What are the micro reviews?
Well, okay, we saw the first episode of You.
Yes.
We saw the first episode of Star Trek Lower Decks.
Yes.
And you played some of Carrion, and I played a bunch of it too.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah, so which would you like to do first?
Let's do Carry On.
Sure.
Okay, so...
Carry on,
wayward son.
Taking my
There'll
headphones
be
off.
peace when you are gone.
It's better out here. Fuck.
Okay, so
had
to rest.
Don't you cry no more.
Okay,
Suddenly this became an episode of Supernatural.
So, Carry On is the Nintendo Switch game. It's also for a couple of... I got it for the Switch. I think it's also on the Xbone, where it's kind of like... it's not a roguelike. It's
on the what?
It's on the Switch.
And the what?
And the Xbone.
The what?
Xbox One. Xbone.
Who the fuck calls it that?
Numerous people call it the Xbone.
Who?
Oh, okay, let's...
No.
Let's I'm gonna pull it up and we'll see. Type in X bone. Oh, there's a C in there.
Is Xbox One the second Xbox?
No.
Xbox 360.
Oh, so it goes Xbox 360,
Xbox One.
Xbox One.
And now they're doing the next one. If I type in Xbone, it goes straight to the Microsoft Xbox site.
That's stupid.
Yes, well, it's just like, you know, the you don't call it the PlayStation 1, you got the PS1, PS2.
Yeah, but Xbone.
Xbone, yeah. Because who plays Xbones? It's like gamer dudes who drink Gatorade, or no, I'm sorry, Mountain Dew, and eat Doritos and call people bruh and dude. So obviously they're going to call it an Xbone. Oh, and the Series X is the next one.
I remember
What do
when
you remember?
Xbox first came out. You know what's crazy is, like, there are people. When did that Xbox come out? There are people who don't even remember that coming out because they were not born yet, or
I think
children.
it was during high school, our high school time. Because I remember this guy Josh, I knew, he would bring it into science class, and we'd play the last level of Halo a bunch in class. It was high school science because I sucked at science, I guess. I don't know.
And I remember
2001.
There we go. Yeah, in high school.
When I not every time I think of Xbox, but every once in a while when I think of Xbox, when I really like when people start talking about the name Xbox,
Yeah.
I think of the thought that I had when I first heard about it,
Mm-hmm.
that like Microsoft was coming out with a gaming console. So you had PlayStation, right? That was out at the time, and then the Nintendo, whatever, I think it was GameCube,
Yeah.
was out at the time, and then Microsoft was coming out, the Microsoft Xbox. I thought it sounded a lot like X-Pac.
I
But
knew
the
you were
wrestler.
going to go there.
I was
I knew
like,
you were going to go there.
it sounds a lot like the wrestler X-Pac. So I was like, what? There's a gaming console called X-Pac?
Like, whoa! Is there a tie-in? Does he have his own game?
And the aesthetics actually kind of match up pretty well, because the aesthetic for Xbox is like, you know, an X. It's like a green X.
Yeah.
Its main colors are green and black. whereas X-Pac's colors were like green and black as well. So like X-Pac is kind of like the human version of Xbox.
Wow.
Yeah. See?
Oh yeah, that makes you know what? She showed us the picture.
Show-
That is absolutely. Hey, save that picture and make a post for this episode.
Actually, it's even better if you look at him from the 90s. Yeah, that's
that's great.
That's Xbox the person.
Okay. Oh here, actually no. Send me that picture. I'll add that to a post on our. Oh yeah, we have a Facebook page now, everyone.
Yes, we have a Facebook page.
Yeah.
And we also have a Twitter.
We have a Twitter. Holy shit! I gotta
Yeah.
subscribe to that.
Yeah, we need to talk to you about Twitter.
We'll get it
before
all
you-
figured it out.
Before you go
Figured it.
subscribing to anything yet, we got to talk about Twitter.
Okay, you know what? Wait. How's it gonna? Is it gonna show? Okay, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, yeah.
Fine.
We're
Whatever.
gonna get
We'll also
everything-
make an Instagram
Wow, we're going all out. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
and a Patreon. We'll just make a bunch of shit.
Let's make everything.
Why
we are
not?
gonna pimp out this show.
Oh, we're gonna. Well, yeah, we're juking this bitch out.
Can we
all
say
over
pimp
the
out?
place. Yes, we
We're
can.
supposed to not cuss anymore. This
Well,
is
yeah.
this
We're
is
supposed
the
to-
new
we're supposed to-
Transmit
yeah,
podcast.
we're transitioning to a much more family-friendly, raunchy show. But here, speaking of, we played a game where you eat people.
Yes.
So Carrion.
Sorry, I got
That's fine.
sidetracked
That's
on
absolutely fine.
Xbox.
Hey, listen, we got to fill time, and that's what we're doing.
Gotta fit.
Filling time until we die. So,
It's good. When we start posting on YouTube, it'll be good for the algorithm.
oh yeah. So so Carrion is this game where you start off as
Is it Carrion or
Carrion. Carrion, like dead bird stuff.
Yes.
You're a pile of meat.
Dead.
Oh.
A pile of dead.
You're a
I don't
pile
know.
of meat, basically, with tentacles and teeth, and you're like the monster from The Thing, and except well, there is one bit where you're apparently like masquerading as a person, but most of the time you're like sneaking around like this research island trying to escape.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like it because at first you start out as this little weak thing, but you can still kill pretty easily. And it's your job to like maintain your biomass and like find ways to spread it so you can open up doors and stuff. And it's like really fun. Like your mom hated this game. Well, at least she hated the noise.
It's gross.
Oh, it's
It was
super
fun, but
it's-
it was nasty.
Yeah, she was sitting there like just listening to the crunching, like slurping noises when you eat little people.
I must be a little desensitized to it because it didn't really
Well, you've seen a bunch of horror movies probably.
bother me that much because it was like 16-bit, 8-bit style characters and stuff.
Yeah. And like each form has like different.
And the crunching was very cartoony sounding.
It was. I guess with the addition of the gameplay plus the sound, that's not such a big deal. But she was just like looking at her phone, and then she'd hear like
Yeah, I can imagine how it would be kind of
disgusting.
disgusting, upsetting when you're not, when it's not something you put on. It's not
Yeah.
something you chose to put on.
So yeah, and you have like 3 forms, like, and each one gets bigger, and each one has its own like powers. So like at the smallest form, you get like this kind of web shooter thing. So you can either like hit like levers, or you can like incapacitate people shooting at you. And guns do hurt you, which I do like because unlike the Thing where you just shoot it and it doesn't hurt you, like this one you'll lose biomass.
Guns hurt pretty badly too. Like you only have to get shot a couple times.
Yeah, you got to play smart, and like then you get like another set of biomass when you get bigger, and you can like rip out stuff and call out and like ram into doors. And your biggest one, I think there might be 4. I didn't get all the way through yet, but the third one is you can shoot out spikes and like rip out like big metal plugs. Have you got to the part where you're like taking on the power loaders with the machine guns?
Yeah, I think no. I've gotten to the part
No.
where it's like the guys with like the little like spike shields.
Oh yeah, those things are like, I think they're like energy or some sort of like electrical shields. You got to get around them.
Yeah.
You got to play smart. You got to play like a monster from these movies. They always give you like a ventilation shaft or like under the grate thing to like reach up and grab people.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. Where you can, there's little like pathways
Yep.
where you can go underneath and then like reach up and grab people.
And it's super satisfying when someone's like been giving you a hard time, and then you get around them, you just rip them up into the ceiling and like beat them against the floor, and you eat them.
And it seems like they're usually when you attack them, they get what do you call that when someone gets cut in half?
Bisected.
Bisected.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Usually
cut 'em
get
in half, yeah.
bisected. Sometimes they get decapitated.
Oh yeah, you can like if depending on how you like pull them into your mouth, you'll like bite like the top half or the bottom half, and then if you need more biomass, then you just go back and like grab up their legs or something.
Yeah, and like eating them is for health, so it's like it's not like it's It's funny. It makes you like. It doesn't make you into a sociopath for eating people for no reason. Like there's a reason to eat people.
Yeah, it's like, and a lot of times,
It's like, okay, I'm doing this because I need
it. Other times I'll leave them. I'll just leave them because I might need them later. So
I can't eat the army guys with the shields though. I was trying to eat them and you can't break them apart for some reason.
Yeah, some of the guys who are in heavier armor, all you can do is just chew on them a little bit. It's like a dog with a rope toy. So listen, I would suggest this game if you got a few bucks. It's not that much, and it's an indie game, and really you should support indie games in these times because they're putting out a lot of stuff that's fun and fast.
How much did that game cost you?
I want to say $20.
It's not terrible.
Let's see.
It's like reverse horror game where you're the
How much does the
or-
game Carrion cost?
monster.
Here's what I found.
Oh, okay, that's not it. It said carry on like luggage.
I could just.
It's based after
Here's
it's
what I
loosely
found.
based after Tubifix worms.
Oh yeah, there is a power up later on where you'll be like where you get into water and you can turn into a whole bunch of worms to get around obstacles.
Oh really?
Oh yeah,
That's sweet.
Are you finding it? Because I'm.
You could just look at your PlayStation account.
Well, it's my Nintendo account for
Whatever,
one minute.
Whatever.
Oh yeah, it's $20. On Steam, it's $20. So I'm guessing it's probably going to be 20 everywhere.
And then there was some controversy with the thumbnail that they used.
Oh yeah, it looked like a vagina.
It looked like it looked kind of like a vagina or a.
Yeah, they obviously they went with just some sort of meaty looking thing.
So we can't say that. It looked like a.
I think you can say that.
It looked like a front end or a back end.
Yeah, it looked like an orifice.
It looked like an orifice that's
And then-
below the waist.
Then they turned it into tentacle hentai, and it's apparently more acceptable. Okay, so you guys want to talk about Lower Decks or Yet You first?
Let's do Lower Decks.
Okay, so the guy who made Rick and Morty said, "I want to do Star Trek," and then CBS said, "Okay." Because I think the very first scene where like the casual chick, what's her name? You usually remember these things better than I do. Mariner. She pulls a Rick and just busts in on the other guy, B something.
Bainham.
Boimler.
Boimler. God, they give him the weird names. Boimler. Boimler's doing like his own log, like he's a captain, and she comes in drunk and starts like messing with him with a batleth. And it feels like this is their way of saying, okay, you're getting Star Trek for sure, but it's going to be by way of Rick and Morty.
Yeah, it's crazy. What a world we live in where
It's such a, yeah. Like this had like some low expectations from the fans. Like Star Trek fans were like, no, this isn't Star Trek. And I'm like, look, we need to move forward with Star Trek, guys. It's cool. It can be different.
that's I've seen a lot of those. Well, I've seen a few of those videos, but I assume that there's a lot of those videos out there.
Yeah, I'm
where
always
it's
hopeful.
Star Trek fans who are extremely critical of
Bunch of angry fanboys.
Yeah,
the new direction.
Yeah, like listen, I listened to well, I used to before they ended it, the improvised Star Trek. If you like improvised comedy and Star Trek, it's a lot like that actually. It's except not as hyperactive. It's they didn't do like here's the Enterprise and this guy's playing Data, this guy's playing no, they did their whole new ship and they made whole new characters like this, and it plays well to have like a, because always every Star Trek is like here's the best of the best in their field. And I've always wanted to see, okay, and this was also in like the Make It So podcast where they talked about this. We people have been wanting like a comedy thing where it's like not the high end stuff. Let's go to like Deck 4, third shift.
Well, I think when it made sense in the beginning, obviously, right?
Yeah.
For the captain to be the main character, because like, we didn't have sci-fi or Star Trek, so it's like,
We need to
okay,
see the
everyone,
universe.
this is the
Yep.
Enterprise, and this is Captain Kirk, and this is his adventures and stuff. And then we had Captain Picard, and then Cisco,
And
and
Janeway.
You have to establish the importance
Archer.
of their missions.
Yeah, Archer, one of the weaker ones like that.
So then we finally get to Star Trek Discovery, which is a little bit different,
Yeah.
where it's not really the captain who's the main character, and then finally this show where it's like completely.
Let's poke
They're not
fun.
even. There's not. No one. None of the characters are even like. None of the main characters are like the higher ups at all.
No, yeah, it's like they're finally like poking fun at the it's a big enough thing that long enough running you can poke fun at all of like the conventions of this universe, and I like it a lot.
Well, I would say though
Oh, yeah.
that the conventions that it was poking at weren't really even. It was a little bit of Star Trek, but like I don't feel like any of the captains or main characters of Star Trek were like glory hogs or
They were not.
or in it
Kirk
for
kind
to
of-
be
Okay,
remembered.
Okay. Kirk, yes, Kirk. He was a bit of a even off stage. He was like so. I think that maybe it's a little
So it's archetypical of like kind of other things.
yeah.
Too. So not just.
Well, also she's a jaded person, so she's gonna be sitting there like, in order to make this comedy work, I think they need to have like the archetypes of the captain, the first officer, and your security chief. They need to be turned up a notch in
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and then you need to tone down like everyone in Star Trek or in the lower decks to be like kind of like, look at these assholes. You have to have that counterbalance of look at these uptight dipshits. I'm sorry, I'll
Yeah.
bleep that out.
So yeah, I think it works. It's good.
Yeah,
Ultimately.
it does work. I mean, the very first bit, it's a little hyperactive. I think they're trying to like set a tone, and it feels kind of try-hardy, but it does end like when she gets them with Batleth, like at a good point. Like they have good knowledge of comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in this first episode, there's also a zombie.
They go
Attack.
straight for zombie attack. Like they bring back a virus, and it like spreads across the ship.
The commander is the one that gets bit.
Yeah, the first officer.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, and they're like super broy. Like he's like Riker, but turned up a notch. He's sitting there with like his buddy, like bumping chest, and we need to do that more, Vic. After every podcast, I need us to chest bump now. That's the only thing I can think of to end a podcast with is chest bumping.
Okay. We'll
We'll revisit that after the podcast.
wear our masks while we're doing that.
Yes, please.
I was gonna sneeze when I did it.
What else was I going to say about Lower
Okay.
Decks? Oh, really good animation.
Yeah, I like they're really like, especially the main character or anyone who has like the focus is on. They're like super expressive.
Yeah, it's probably the best of like the whole Rick and Morty verse. If you got Rick and Morty, Solar Opposites, and now this Star Trek Lower Deck. This
Yeah.
had like the best like animation of them all. Like
I'm betting CBS and Star Trek like they have a legacy to consider. I'm betting they're saying like, yeah, they're gonna throw an amount of money like as a matter of course that would make anyone on Adult Swim go like, what?
like the
They have the ability.
Yeah,
like the backgrounds were really good. Like
The
the
art?
ship, the art, the like the black goo stuff that was coming out.
yeah. That was really
Of
lovingly
people.
applied to people.
Yeah, it was like the way it splattered was like really like artistic and everything. It was
Oh
like,
yeah, it's like super dramatic. Like that new green chick, the science, like they have like someone from each area.
Tendy.
Tendi, she shows up and it's like, okay, I'm supposed to work with Nurse Ratchet or whatever, and it's like that's Nurse Ratchet, and it's like, hi, nice to meet you, barf. And
She looks like Squanchy.
she does. No, yeah, the
That's
old
a
the
different
doctor.
one.
Yeah, the doctor looks
Oh.
like Squanchy. The science officer chick. She looks like I guess like an average like TikToker with that haircut.
She looks like Gamora. She has Gamora's
She has
coloring.
Gamora's coloring.
Which is kind of
And
funny.
she has a side cut.
And a side cut and a crazy chick's haircut. So that's what she's got going for her. You can really tell like
They're very expressive.
super expressive, and you can really tell like where the Rick and Morty like humor like kind of fades in and out like depending on like when he said, "Oh, I want my joke to be here." Like when she's like, pump this hard. Oh God, it hurts so much to squeeze my. I was like, yeah, that's Rick and Morty. Or like when the Boimler is getting like sucked on by like that spider.
Oh, that was
That's going in and out of its mouth. Like,
That
was
guy gets
oddly
really
sexual.
that guy
yes.
that guy gets really like screwed over.
Yeah, he gets walked on a
He's
lot.
he's got very bad luck.
Well,
He's kind of like Morty.
Yes, I think he's the Morty of this show.
What's kind of funny is that they have this this critique of their commanding officers, and yet you have this character who is the main character, and he is very clearly fame hungry.
Oh yeah, he wants to be in a captain's chair. He wants to like ascend to that and be that, and like he's sitting there with this chick who's been there and is like, I am done with that bullshit.
Yeah, and then you find out at the end.
Oh yeah, let's not spoil that. But like I said, it's funny. I would recommend it right now.
Yes.
I watched the second episode as well. Super great. They bring out a Klingon, and it's like, okay, they kind of know their Klingon stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how about we'll talk about Yes or You. I keep wanting to call it Yes.
Well, we should just talk about it right now.
That's what I mean. Let's talk about Yes or You right now, and then we'll call it a podcast.
Okay.
Okay.
It sounds.
That's great. Good. Wonderful.
So what did you think of? Because I'm gonna guess that most of the United States who owns Netflix access has seen it by now, and you're like the last
I'm
person
literally the last person.
remaining.
Well, it's
From
not
what-
really. It's not really. His,
Spikes.
it's not really Spike's kind of wheelhouse. It's not really in his repertoire. I don't know. What do you say? It's not really his cup of tea, his genre that he.
It's not. That's true, but he watches things that aren't necessarily his genre sometimes.
Yeah. It appears to be All Men Are Bastards, the TV show. From watching the first episode, like
I mean, not all.
not.
Because, Paco's like
I mean, the little
a
kid.
really
The
good
little
kid.
kid.
He's not a man. The only I think
So it's
what's
the-
going to happen in that is someone's going to just explicitly say into the camera, it's like, listen, the only reason he's not a monster is because he's not a man yet.
He hasn't grown up.
Yeah, he hasn't had the upper body strength to do something gross to us. Because
That doesn't happen in the show, but
okay, from this first episode, it feels like there's two types of males. There's children who haven't had the opportunity to turn into assholes, and everyone else.
fair.
I get it.
To be fair, Joe Goldberg, the main. I don't know if he's the main protagonist. There's kind of two
He's kind of an anti.
anti-protagonist.
Well,
Well, like
the very handsome stalker,
the handsome stalker.
the most handsome creeper you'll ever see.
His coworker isn't really that bad,
I
but
guess
he's
kind of just.
he's like
Still just
he's
a-
kind of a dumpy fat guy that a woman wouldn't want anyway.
It's like, hey,
So it's
you
like either they're all bad or they're just like not
and
not
even
accessible.
even he's
not
in the
attractive.
First, yeah, even he in the episode is sitting there like, oh, you got her name? Yeah, you should totally start Google searching her up. Like
Yeah.
start e-stalking her.
Like, that's not foreshadowing.
Oh boy, yeah, I like it because like the main female lead, she apparently doesn't know what curtains are for.
Beck.
Beck, because she's sitting there like just in her towel, walking by her bay windows that face a very narrow street, having sex in front of those with the lights on, in the living room. Like, apparently she's an exhibitionist.
I mean, if you looked like that,
If I looked like her, yeah, I'd open these windows up after every shower,
exactly.
but I do not.
This is a very attractive actress that plays Guinevere Beck.
Yeah, dating a the douche. They made this hipster in a lab to be a douche.
Yes.
So like Joe Goldberg, he meets her in the library.
Yep,
The
and then-
bookstore.
he's critiquing everything.
Bookstore. He's like
Mr. Mooney's bookstore.
he's very judgmental of everything. It's like, oh, this person, he's got a Dan Brown book in his hand, but he's waiting to.
He's going to browse for another 10 minutes, and then he's going to find something to cover the fact that he only came in here for the Dan Brown book.
No,
So-
wait, Dan Brown. What kind of books?
Angels and Demons, The Da Vinci Code.
Who
Kind of like-
cares?
because it's mainstream and he's a hipster.
Okay,
and doesn't
there you
like
go.
mainstream.
There you
Dan
go.
Brown also kind of became one of those like, oh, wow, you're so woke, you're so intelligent, you're reading Dan Brown.
Yeah, okay.
He kind of became that sort of stereotype. So
Right.
the dude buys a J.D. Salinger book, to kind of cover up the fact that he's buying a Dan Brown.
So
which
this is
kind of
why I
funny.
do audiobooks, partially because I drive, but also, I
You
just
don't want to shame yourself by
Don't-
purchasing something in the store.
well, also, listen, I will read a book, but also I drive a lot. And also, I don't need to listen to somebody like say, you should start reading this other thing. I don't care.
Well, that's where
Beck shows up.
they meet,
It's like she's the real deal. She likes a good book, and I'm like, okay.
gets her number, stalks her.
He
Shows
did
up
not
at
get
some-
her number.
Oh, he didn't. Yeah, he. How do you get it? Email.
Well, that didn't even start then.
Oh, I didn't even start then.
Because remember, he
Just got her name.
got her name, and so then he started stalking her, and he found out
Yeah.
where she lived, found out her whole life thing, followed her when she went out with her friends, when she got absurdly drunk
Yep. And I understand, like,
Wait.
doing karaoke.
Well,
he like
well, I was gonna
stalked her
s-
like at 3 different night.
Well,
time
just
scenes.
the scene where he's outside of her house and then like her apartment and then she's having sex and stuff.
and he's sitting
The whole
there
time he's on his phone looking up the guy. Somehow he figures out who the guy is.
right?
He's like, and then it's like all his social media posts.
You
He's like the
underestimate-
biggest douchebag.
You underestimate how easy it is to find people on social media.
It is pretty easy to find people on social media, but it's super, like, it's also for, like, storytelling constraints, so he can, like, do it like that. Because you want to get the story moving along, and he's doing all the douchey things at one time to kind of convey what's going on in his head and all that, and convey information about this douche who runs a artisanal soda company.
It's still pretty fast.
It's still pretty fast, no doubt.
And then she starts pleasing herself.
Yeah,
when
she starts,
the guy-
He leaves. Benji leaves because he's gotten his rocks off after calling her fat, basically.
Yeah, well, apparently some chicks you can just say that and be like, nope, well, I have to do sex with you now. Apparently, it's like that's the only solution to that statement.
It was
It's sad, and that was another way to say, like, this guy is a manipulative asshole
yes.
with a beanie, a kind of a grunge sort of like a look.
Yeah.
It's like a hipster grunge fusion, and also he said that his him making artisanal soda is curing cancer, and he's stressed about that. And I'm like, I don't care about this guy. I hate him so much. I'm being manipulated by the writers of this show in such a way that I've not really been manipulated before.
And then her professor is also.
Oh yeah, just wants to bang her. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, you should totally listen. I'll help you, like, with your paper over drinks.
How about tonight?
But tonight.
Her poetry.
Her poetry, yeah.
'Cause she owes pages to keep her TA position.
Well, it's the weirdest thing. Like, she's broke, but she has, like, one of the nicest apartments, like, in New York.
Yes, but that's paid for by the university.
By the university. Okay. Does the university have, like, high in brownstone
Sometimes.
area? Okay. I'm just.
Depends on. She's probably. I don't remember if they really go into it during the series, but she's probably working towards her master's.
Probably. I don't know. It's very weird to see, like, that level of, like, home affluence and her be like, I'm broke. I think they should have, like, had it
I
where
think maybe she was broke relative to her rich friends.
maybe that's it. Yeah.
I've only got
Fair
60.
enough.
I've only got 60 grand in my bank account.
Oh God, I
I'm
don't know
running-
how I'll make it through the end of the year. that's not gonna cover groceries in this city.
Not in fucking New York.
Not in New York.
Not in
fuck
New
that,
York.
No. Why do you think I rent a room here in San Diego? It's like, Jesus.
So, where were we at? Oh
Uh,
yeah. So he stalks her, figures out that he thinks her friends are trash.
Yep.
Then he stalks her to
Her, like, poetry reading.
the
it?
poetry reading where
Yep.
she
And then
tries to
she
read.
starts to bomb.
She bombed.
She bombs so bad, and so he leaves.
Well, once again,
It's funny. It's like the stalker. It's like, even she does so bad.
Even her
that
stalker's like,
you
"Ugh."
know what? I'm done following her for
I'm
today.
out.
I can't even watch this.
and it's so bad, like another bastard who's just like one of the stage hands, like, is like walks in front of her with like a stool. Like, it's like the douchiest thing you can do. Like, you think they'd have better decorum at like a artsy sort of place like that.
And then there's that
Yeah.
other dude that's like, why are you so sad?
It's like,
Everything is so sad. Do you have to be so sad?
we're hitting all of the stereotypes for dudes. Like, all he has to do is say, "You should smile." It's like, just to get the whole, like, every stereotype there. And so she gets drunk and goes to the same subway stop as him, and just dumps herself onto the tracks accidentally.
Yep. And then he saves her. She
Yep.
pukes on him.
Yep.
He gets them in a cab.
Steals her
and
phone.
Steals her phone. And she's like, oh my God, I don't have my phone.
Like, ah, it's
Oh,
all
but
right.
here's my email address.
Oh,
'Cause,
yeah.
You know. Oh, no. He gets her there. Benji meets them at her place.
Yep.
She comes in like the next day or, within a matter of days to the bookstore to say thank you
Yeah.
with a copy of a freaking Dan Brown book. And then she doesn't have her phone, so they exchange emails.
There it is. And even then, like, when she's like handing off like the woman to her boyfriend, he's like, "Hey, thanks, bro, for saving her life or whatever." Like, come on, It's like, we're going to have, like, really unsatisfying sex now, right?
So as far as she's concerned, that is the one good guy that she's
It's
met.
the one.
Yeah.
But he's really not.
He's really the most handsome stalker.
Well, we left out the part where he calls in like a leak in her apartment.
Oh, yeah, to get
while
in there.
she's out, and then shows up and is like, "Oh, hey, this is Beck's apartment. Did you find anything? What's going on?" I'm like, "Yeah, just let your girlfriend know nothing's wrong. Blah blah blah." And then he freaking steals like a pair of her panties.
Yeah, starts sniffing around, literally sniffing around. Like, oh, is she password protects none of her like electronics.
like an idiot.
And so he's in the shower and like he's like talking about, "Well, I've seen romantic comedies. Like, we'll get through this if you find me." It's like she's like turned on the shower and he's getting like dunked on, and then her friends call. It's like, "Hey, you want to come out and hang out with us?" Like, okay. And apparently, like, if I'm in shower mode, it's for a reason. It's not like I'm just gonna shower for no reason. So she's like apparently wanted to shower, but it was optional if she wanted to go out into the town. Apparently,
Yeah.
like I don't know. That seems a little weird. That's the weirdest part to me. Let's see here. Yeah, Paco, the neighbor boy, is he's the son of a woman who's being beaten by a parole officer, and
that's another bad.
They're
man.
also having raucous sex, and he's sitting there like, "I know what you're doing with you. How you want that boy? Stay away from him." It's like, well, this is the one way in which he's not a complete creeper. Is he's actually
They got to give you like the one part where he's semi-relatable,
yeah. So
empathetic.
so he's teaching him about books and stuff, and like they foreshadow the shit out of that hammer, where he's like, "Okay, you want to," because the drunken guy like destroys an early edition of Don Quixote, and he's like, "No, we're gonna fix it. Don't worry about it." And he like gets the glue and stuff, and they foreshadow the hell out of that hammer. It's like, you just use the right amount of force to boom.
Ka-chung,
Ka-chung,
chung,
ka-chung. And I'm sitting there like, boy, I wonder if that hammer will be used later. It's literally Chekhov's hammer. So he lures Soda Douche in by pretending to be some like an angel investor or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, yeah, here, come with me. I'm just kind of looming lurking in this like in this alcove."
Oh,
Yeah.
you've never been to this place?
Yeah, this is
Wow,
our
I can't
office.
believe
It's
that.
super off the grid. It's like, yeah, walk ahead of me into this dark alley.
And down these dark steps
Yeah, you
that
see
lead to nowhere.
At a certain point, he sees like the book like storage area that he's hollowed out of, or he's taken all the books out of, and it's like, that looks like a place you'd hold someone in a dramatic setting for an extended period of wham.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey man, maybe this isn't blah blah," and then he gets.
Okay, so yeah, if you get an
Knock the
email
fuck out.
and they refuse to like talk to you in person, and then they say go down an alley to like pitch your product to me, just walk away. Like, look, anyone who wants to like taste your artisanal soda would be happy to do it in like a restaurant or a conference room. All right, so
Yeah. What did you think? Like, are you?
I enjoyed
are
it.
you
It had
down to watch more?
I'm down to watch more.
Okay.
It had a bit of a House of Cards feel, I want to say. I'm not sure why. It just had that mouth feel to me.
The narration.
Yeah, I think it was the narration.
Partly
And
the
boy,
narration.
that was the douchiest part. Like, that's the thing that made me hate him the most, the main character, because he was just sitting there like passing judgment on the effing world. And listen, I have thoughts, but I'm not sitting there like going on diatribes on everything in the world. I usually just go, that guy's kind of acting like a douche. Okay.
So this season is really good, but
Okay.
the second season, I don't know how they did it. They completely upped the ante.
All
And
right.
it's like it's so much better.
This is not one of those shows that like you watch kind of just because like it's really good or really good writing. It's kind of almost like a guilty pleasure. It's
Oh,
kind of
yeah?
like a train wreck. You're kind of watching a train wreck. You're
Oh.
kind of watching all these archetypes of our society kind of like get just like blasted on.
It's like you
by
put
these
it all
writers.
you put it all in a vacuum, and like this is what it's all actually like without all of the external factors.
All right. Well, here, listen. That being said, I really enjoyed you and also Star Trek Lower Decks and Carrion. Sorry.
I enjoyed myself too. Thank you.
You know what? Good.
Get it?
No.
I enjoyed you. Too slow.
Are you happy?
Too slow.
Are you happy with yourself?
Yes.
For that one, you shouldn't be.
I'm very pleased. I made a joke that went over your head.
I'm in wrap up mode. Okay, just chill out, ma'am.
No.
Okay, that being said, I'm your host, Spike,
I'm Victor.
I'm Samantha.
and we'll see you next time
With less cursing.
with less cursing. Even less than this time.